Hello and welcome to the Business English Podcast. I'm your host Rob, and today we're stepping into a topic that could truly transform the way you pitch, sell, and connect in the business world. Before we dive in, let me set the scene for you. It's a rainy Tuesday morning in London, grey skies, a faint drizzle tapping the windows, and inside a cramped office at a buzzing tech startup, we meet Charlie. He's a sharp marketing professional from Spain, pacing back and forth in a space barely big enough for his desk and dreams. In just 2 hours, he's got a massive pitch that could land a game-changing client for his company's new software. The stakes couldn't be higher. His reputation's on the line, his team's morale hangs in the balance, and there's a hefty commission dangling just out of reach. No pressure at all, right? Charlie's a pro at what he does. He's got the product down. AI-driven analytics, seamless system integration, all the bells and whistles. He could recite the features in his sleep. But as he stares at his carefully crafted slides, something unsettling creeps in. The words feel lifeless, flat, dry, like a textbook no one wants to read. He can already picture the client's reaction, those polite, glazed-over nods that quietly scream, "Thanks, but pass." Why? Because something's missing, that elusive spark that turns a pitch into a victory. And as a non-native English speaker, Charlie's got an extra layer of worry gnawing at him. Will his story even make sense? Will they feel what he's trying to say, or will it just get lost in translation? Here's the truth. Charlie's not alone in this. Have you ever felt that twist in your gut before a big meeting? That nagging doubt about whether your words will hit the mark, or just fall flat like a deflated balloon? Maybe you've got all the facts lined up perfectly, but you're not quite sure how to make your audience care. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today's episode is all about persuasive storytelling, a skill that's not just a nice to have, but an absolute must-have for anyone in sales, marketing, or leadership. It's the difference between a client leaning in, hanging on your every word, or tuning out and checking their inbox. So, what's Charlie missing? How can he and you turn a laundry list of features into a story that sticks in their minds long after the call ends? And what's the one trick that'll give you the confidence to close deals, even if English isn't your first language? Stick with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll have a toolkit to craft narratives that don't just inform, they inspire action. Let's get started. Today we're unpacking the power of persuasive storytelling, Charlie's secret weapon for that make or break pitch, and quite possibly yours too. We left Charlie in a bit of a state, pacing his office, sweating over his slides, desperate to connect with his client in a way that clicks. Now, let's dig into why this skill is such a big deal. Spoiler alert, it's not just about sounding clever or polished. It's about winning hearts, capturing minds, and ultimately sealing the deal. Storytelling in business isn't some fluffy add-on you sprinkle on top of your presentation. It's the backbone of effective sales and marketing. Why does it matter so much? Well, because humans aren't wired to run on logic alone. Sure, facts and figures have their place, but emotions, that's the real currency of decision making. Think about the last thing you bought, maybe a new phone, a car, or even a streaming subscription. Did you choose it because of a bullet point list of specifications, or because something about it just felt right? That's the power of stories. They tap into that emotional core, and in the business world, that is pure gold. Let's start with the first big win. Storytelling makes your product relatable. Charlie could stand there and drone on about our software has cutting-edge AI capabilities. But honestly, who's going to care? Now imagine him saying, picture slashing your workload in half with AI that's like having your own personal assistant. Suddenly, it's not just a feature, it's a lifeline. You're not just hearing about the product, you're picturing how it fits into your life. That's the magic trick right there, turning cold data into something warm and human. Next up, storytelling sets your brand apart in a crowded market. Charlie's startup isn't the only one pitching software. There is a sea of competitors out there, so why should anyone pick him? A compelling story cuts through the noise like a beacon. Think about a brand like Apple. They don't just sell gadgets, they sell a lifestyle, sleek, simple, innovative. Charlie's software isn't just lines of code, it's a game changer for overwhelmed teams drowning in deadlines. That's a story people can buy into, not just buy. Then there's the bridge from features to benefits. Clients don't care about what your product does, they care about what it does for them. Storytelling makes that connection seamless. Charlie could say, our tool integrates with your existing systems. And sure, that's nice. Or he could paint a picture. Imagine all of your data flowing together smoothly. No more late night headaches chasing down errors. Which one makes you sit up and listen? The story doesn't just tell, it shows the payoff. And here's the clincher. Storytelling builds trust and closes deals. A well-crafted narrative can create a sense of urgency that nudges the client over the line. Picture Charlie saying, join the 500 companies already saving hours every week with us. Don't get left behind. That's not just a pitch, it's a call to action wrapped in credibility. The client isn't just buying software, they're joining a movement, and that's irresistible. But here's the million-dollar question. Can storytelling really work for you, even if English isn't your native tongue? And what happens when you get it right, when the words flow and the client's hooked? Hang tight, because we're about to explore how Charlie and you can turn this skill into a superpower. Right, we're deep into persuasive storytelling, Charlie's lifeline as he gears up for that high-stakes pitch. So far, we've seen why stories are your golden ticket to standing out and winning clients over. Now let's roll up our sleeves and get practical. How do you actually build a story that works? Good news, it's simpler than you might think, and by the end of this section, you'll be crafting narratives like a seasoned professional. Here's the framework you need. Every great story has 3 core beats: problem, solution, and benefit. You start with a pain point that grabs their attention. Introduce your product as the hero that saves the day, and then land on an emotional payoff that seals the deal. It's straightforward, but don't let that fool you. It's incredibly powerful when done right. Let's break it down with some key phrases you can start using today. Before we jump into those, a quick shout out. If you're loving these insights and want more actionable tips, sign up for our weekly email newsletter, the 3-Minute Minutes. You'll get powerful resources delivered straight to your inbox, plus a full transcript of an episode. And if you're ready to supercharge your skills, check out the Business English Podcast Premium subscription for exclusive content. The links are in the show notes. All right, let's get into those phrases. I'll say each one twice so you can repeat it after me and get the rhythm down. Then I'll give you a scenario and a little nuance to take it up a notch. Ready? Here we go. First, let's set the stage by introducing the problem. Imagine a world where you never have to worry about pain point. Imagine a world where you never have to worry about pain point. Picture Charlie standing in front of a frazzled manager, papers strewn across her desk, deadlines looming. He leans in and says, "Imagine a world where you never have to worry about missed deadlines." Here's the nuance. That single word, imagine, isn't just a throwaway. It's your golden hook. It's an invitation pulling the listener into a vision of relief, a better reality. Pair it with a pain point that hits home, something that they're wrestling with daily, and you've got their focus locked tight before they even realize it. Picture yourself struggling with pain point. Frustrating, right? Picture yourself struggling with pain point. Frustrating, right? Now Charlie's facing a room of executives, drowning in numbers. He hits them with, "Picture yourself struggling with endless data chaos. Frustrating, right?" The magic here? Picture yourself. This turns it personal. It's no longer abstract. It's their struggle. That little tag, right, is a crafty nudge. It's conversational, almost daring them to agree, drawing them deeper into your story with a subtle pull. Next, let's bring in the solution. That's where our product or service comes in. That's where our product or service comes in. Charlie's got their attention now. He pivots smoothly. That's where our software comes in. Why it works. That's where is our seamless bridge. It's crisp, confident, like a hero stepping into the spotlight. Keep it lean, no fluff. Just let your product take center stage with quiet swagger. With product, you can finally solution. With product, you can finally solution. He follows up. With our software, you can finally take control of your workflow. Here's the trick. Finally isn't just a word, it's a sigh of relief, a promise of resolution. Couple it with a strong action verb like take or streamline, and you're handing your audience a sense of empowerment they can feel in their bones. And now the big finish, the benefit. Now you can benefit, saving time, money, and stress. Now you can benefit, saving time, money, and stress. Charlie seals it. Now you can focus on what matters, saving time, money, and stress. The secret sauce? Now. This signals a shift. It's immediate, urgent, real. Then that trio of benefits, time, money, stress, leans on the rule of three. It's rhythmic, it sticks, and it lands with a satisfying thud. Join thousands of satisfied customers who benefit. Join thousands of satisfied customers who benefit. He wraps it up. Join thousands of satisfied customers who've streamlined their day. What's the nuance? This taps into belonging. It's subtle peer pressure, the fear of missing out, dressed up as an invite. Thousands slips in credibility without sounding like a salesy brag. It's proof that it works. There you have it, your storytelling trifecta. Problem, solution, benefit. These phrases are your launchpad, and with a little practice, you'll be crafting pitches as smooth as Charlie's about to deliver. But here's the catch. Even the best story can unravel if you hit a snag. What are the missteps that could trip you up mid-flight? And how do you dodge them like a pro? We're diving into that next, so don't go anywhere. This is where it really gets good. We're really powering through persuasive storytelling. Charlie's ace in the hole as he preps for that all-important pitch. We've got the framework down and the phrases locked in, but here's the reality check. Even the sharpest story can fall apart if you hit a snag. So let's shine a light on some common mistakes, those sneaky traps that often trip up non-native speakers, and pair them with pro tips to keep you on track. When Charlie walks into that meeting, we want him and you unstoppable. First trap: focusing on features instead of benefits. It's so easy to get caught up in the details. Charlie could ramble on about, our software has AI, cloud storage, and top-tier security. But the client's sitting there thinking, okay, but why should I care? The tip? Flip the script. Tie every feature to a tangible win. Instead of AI-driven, Charlie could say, cut your workload in half with AI that thinks for you. It's not about the tech, it's about the result. Make that shift and you've got their interest. Next up, overloading with jargon. Words like synergy, disruptive innovation, or paradigm shift might feel impressive, but to a busy exec or someone outside your field, they're just noise. For non-native speakers, it's a double whammy. Tough to pronounce and even tougher to explain if someone asks. The tip? Simplify it. If a 12-year-old wouldn't get it, lose it. Charlie ditches scalable solution for grows with you. It's clear, it's direct, and it sticks. No translation needed. Now here's a sneaky one. Rushing your delivery. Nerves hit, your heart's racing, and suddenly you're speeding through your story like a runaway train. Words blur and the pauses disappear. Non-native speakers sometimes push the pace, thinking it hides mistakes. Trust me, it doesn't. It just makes them louder. The tip here is slow down. Practice your story out loud, record it on your phone, and play it back. Charlie tries this and catches himself stumbling over the word efficiency. A quick tweak, a deep breath, and he's smooth as silk. Pace is your friend. Own it. Now watch out for this cultural misstep. Missing the emotional hook. In some cultures, data is king. But in places like the UK or the US, it can sometimes be all about the heart too. Skip the feelings and your story's dead on arrival. Non-native speakers might lean too hard on stats, thinking it's a safer bet. Not here. Paint the emotional picture. Charlie swaps, our tool saves 20% time for, imagine 20% more time with your family or your next big idea. That's the hook that lands every time. And I want to briefly touch on a grammar pitfall, which is overusing the passive voice. The software is designed to help you. Sounds stiff and distant and, to be honest, a little robotic. It's a common crutch for language learners. Feels safer, but it's weak. Switch to active voice. Our software helps you dominate your day. This sounds much punchier and more alive. Charlie practices this shift and his pitch goes from flat to fired up. Strong verbs make all the difference. And last but by no means least, forgetting to adapt. You've got your story locked in, but if your audience shifts, say from tech geek to a creative visionary, one size will definitely not fit all. Non-native professionals may cling to a rigid script, afraid to stray from the path. Charlie reads the room. If they're data-driven, he leans into stats. If they're dreamers, he paints a vivid future. Practice makes this feel natural. Start with small tweaks and build your confidence. Here's your next pro move. Test it out small scale first. Try your story in an email, a casual chat, or a low-stakes meeting. Mess up? No harm done. You'll refine it. Because when Charlie nails this pitch, that client's not just sold, they're all in. But will he pull it off? And what's the final piece to lock it down? Stay with me, we're wrapping it up next. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Business English Podcast. We've just taken Charlie and you on a journey through the art of persuasive storytelling. From his shaky start in that cramped London office to a pitch-ready powerhouse, we've covered the full arc. Why stories are your secret weapon, how to build them step by step, and those tricky traps to sidestep along the way. You've got the tools now: problem, solution, benefit, plus a handful of phrases to make clients sit up and listen. Charlie's primed to close that deal, but the real question is, are you? Here's your final tip to take away with you. Always start with why. Before you pitch anything, software, a service, an idea, ask yourself, why does this matter to them? Get that right and your story's already halfway won. Give it a shot this week. Craft a quick tale about your product or service, share it with a colleague or friend, and tweak it based on their reaction. You'll feel the shift. It's like a light bulb flicking on. So what's next? Will Charlie's clients say yes and sign on the dotted line? Could this be the breakthrough moment you've been waiting for too? I'd love to hear how it goes. Drop us a note and let us know how you put these skills into action. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button for more business English insights delivered fresh to your feed. Next time, we'll be diving into something just as exciting with another practical twist to level up your game. What'll it be? You'll just have to tune in to find out. Until then, keep telling stories, stay inspired, and of course, keep it strictly business.